Alright, what I'd like everybody to do is just pick up a simple roll of electrical tape. The reason I use electrical tape but not gray tape is it peels off more easy than the gray tape. All we're going to do basically is put down 2 pieces of tape for starting. So I'm going to put one piece. I'm basically going to form the shape of an L. Now I don't want the L to be right on each other. I want a little bit of a gap in there. So we'll show you what this looks like in a minute. But basically I have a piece of tape here and a piece of tape here. Then what you do is you have the person that you're working with mimic their feet in the same way. Now Jenna's obviously a little bit taller than a little person. Take a step off. So I obviously didn't put that where it should go for her. You got to adjust it accordingly. Okay, now come on back on the tape. Okay, that's probably a little more true. Okay, now this is called a back stance. Okay, this is one of our main stances that we use as a yellow belt. One of the most important things is that their feet are in the shape of an L and that their front leg is bent and their back leg is bent. Then when we're talking about what they do with their hands, they make a nice fist. And so we always make a fist where you start like this, you curl your fingers down, and then you take your thumb and put it on the outside. We don't keep a fist like this because then you can break your thumb, like hitting something. And we don't grab our fist, or our thumb, I mean. A lot of kids like to grab their thumb when they're first learning. Now the most important thing that you're going to work with at home is that the child's going to always want to stand like this in their back stance. The reason we don't want them to stand like that in the back stance is because obviously they're giving a person absolutely all the targets, okay? So what we teach is that you turn sideways and that this hand is about chin height, okay? A lot of kids will want to do this for some reason too. They want to be chin height, okay? Now what this is supposed to be able to do is if I was to throw a punch, she can block inward, or I throw a punch, she can block outward. So this hand's main tool for what we're using it for is to block, okay? This one here should actually be, turn sideways, should be like right here, covering it up a little bit. You don't want to be totally like that either, because then if I threw like a hook type punch, I'd get it off. So like the stance should be more like that, okay? So that's where the hand's placement that I'm looking for. Now the first tool that we teach in the basics is how someone actually throws a punch, okay? But a lot of kids will either throw a straight punch, or what they want to do is they just throw the punch out there like straight. What we teach when we're throwing a punch is that you twist your wrist. The reason you twist your wrist is at the very end of the explosion, that's where the power comes from. Now when this comes back, all right, so when she throws her punch, the focus is on these 2 knuckles. So if I had a target like a pad or something for her to hit, she's not hitting with the baby knuckles, she's hitting with the big knuckles, okay? That's also important, okay? Well, so if we're working at home, the way we check our back stance is, can you drag your heel together? Okay, so you start L shape and you step off onto the tape and you're bent. The second way that you can help your child at home is if their stance is too wide, wide. All right, now that's bad too, even though it's in the shape of an L, because obviously they're giving you the straight in target, right? So when her leg is where it's supposed to be, now the groin or lower region isn't exposed, okay? No nice way to say that, but that's the truth, okay? So you don't want to be wide in the stance. So that's when we say that your feet are in the shape of an L and you step off, that's what we mean. It's not your feet in the shape of an L and then step wide. We're not stepping on an angle, we're actually stepping straight out. Both knees are bent. Now the way we can check if it's a good back stance is, back stance is called back stance because of the weight. The weight's in the back. She can lift her leg naturally. Now, if someone was in they were in an L, but they were too wide, and they had to lean back in order to lift their leg, well, obviously that's not a back stance because the weight is in the front. If Jenna can actually lift her leg natural, then that shows that she's in a good stance, okay? So, quick review. You start in the shape of an L. This is how I do it at home. I should have done this like this. They start in the shape of an L. I have her step off natural. Okay, now, a way to see also is the stance too wide is this. If I'm in my back stance and I turn my lead foot and I'm more like right underneath my hips like this, then that's good. If I'm way out here and I turn, it looks like I'm riding a water buffalo. That is definitely too wide. But if it looks like I'm barely doing it, then that's not enough of a back stance either, okay? So you got to be a little bit more than shoulder width apart. Turn that front foot in this. But like I said, we start with the feet in the shape of an L, we step off, we bend our knees, okay? That's the actual objective, okay? All right, that's a wrap.